Welcome to Violin Adventures number 178. In this episode, we get the 1700s violin set up and play it. Okay, time for these clamps to come off. I think we're all anxious to hear what this is going to sound like. Okay, the next task is to get the neck set. I finally have the neck ready to set, and this one took a long time. Part of the problem is that when there's little bumps and you take the bump out to try to make it nice and flat, then that changes the dimensions. And this one I went back and forth, but it's finally now ready to glue up. And I just made a new batch of hide glue, so we're ready to go. All right, it's all set to go. We're gonna let this dry overnight, and tomorrow we've got to make bridge, sound post, and I'm gonna wait on varnishing it. First, I want to set it up and see what it sounds like. Okay, off comes the clamp. Okay, we're gonna make a bridge, fit a sound post, get some pegs, and see what this sounds like. Our 1700s Violin is all set up, and let's hear what it sounds like. That deep, beautiful tone that a very old instrument has. That is a beautiful tone. I don't know how to describe it. Almost like honey, but it's stronger. It has a power, but it has such a richness. Oh, let's see. What strikes me is this is just the first few minutes after it's been set up, and it hasn't had a chance to really wake up. So I'm going to let this rest. I need to go around this violin and do little finishing touches, and then we'll play it again. We still have to varnish it after that. Okay, I finally got those pieces to sit in there. All right, there's the new repair, and that will blend when we get the varnish on there. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this up again and play it, see how it's sounding. Some work on the pochette. While the repair over there is drying, I took a look at our pochette on the back. I've been carving the back and got the outside done. So now I'm going to start carving on the inside. This is the only hammer you can use in my shop now, is this kind. Back to the 1700's violin. It's starting to wake up, and it still has that beautiful tone of an old instrument that is vibrating. Of these instruments that you just want to keep playing. So I'm going to be playing it throughout the day. It is starting to open up, and you can hear that tone just coming out. Okay, let's go for a walk. Let's check on our bees. It's a beautiful day. The sun is shining. Well, the greenery is coming out here. Here's our beautiful creek. Oh, I see a beaver down there. Gonna have to keep an eye on him. Back to the 1700's violin. We take it down and give it a sealer coat, and I'm hoping just one coat of varnish to protect it. So there are a lot of repairs on the edges here where probably different repair people have put in little pieces of purfling. And so you can see where one purfling starts and another. So I am just with a little brush, just trying to blend it a little bit so it doesn't look so chopped up. We did some repairs up in here, put in some purfling and just a little bit of touch up. And then here on the back, remember that repair? Well, I put a little bit of coloring to try to blend that a little bit better and bring the purfling across. But this is a very beautiful old instrument, and a lot of these lines are, to me, they're just beautiful. They tell a story. So I'm going to go ahead now and start on the first coat. Okay, we're starting on the first coat. All right, I always love it when they get their first coat. It's just protecting them so much. This violin is looking really nice. And the wood has darkened a bit since we took off the varnish that was on there, so it looks very natural to its age, and that's a great thing. Well, the sealer coat looks really good on here. All right, it's time for an Anecdotes of Great Musicians, published in 1895. I have two for you today. The first one is Patty's Exactions. Adelina Patti, who created such a furor in the musical world some years back, was noted among operatic managers as being an expert in obtaining the highest possible sum for her services, and in this respect she was ably seconded by an astute and wily financial agent named Franchi. In the height of her ability and popularity, Patti received $5,000 per night, this being 20 times the amount paid to such singers as Mario and Titians, singers who preceded her by 20 years. Not only was this enormous sum called for by the contract, but it was to be paid to the agent by 2 o'clock on the day of each performance. Patti began her career in this country in a very humble way and was glad to secure $200 per week for her first English engagement in 1861. Before she could open there, she and Strakosch, her brother-in-law, who accompanied her, were reduced almost to their last dollar. But $5,000 per night became hardly enough for her 20 years later. Now, the life of an opera manager is not all of roses, even the financial part. Sometimes there may be thousands of dollars of surplus in the treasury, and then again there may be nothing, or worse than nothing, this latter being a possibility when future receipts are pledged to meet past expenses. At one time, when playing in Boston, Patty's agent called on the impresario for the $5,000 as Patty was to sing that night. But there had been a run of bad luck, and the manager's surplus had declined to the 0 point. But on inquiry at the box office, it was found that the sales of tickets up to that time had brought in some 4,000. This was offered to Signor Franchi, but he declined it and said that the contract having been thus violated, Madame Patty considered herself free from the engagement. But 2 hours afterward, he came back with a message that Patty would give the manager one more chance. Said Franchi, "Give me the 4,000 and she will make every preparation for going on the stage. She will be at the theater at the proper time, ready dressed for the part of Violetta in La Traviata, with the exception only of the shoes. You can let her have the balance when the doors open and the money comes in from the public. As soon as she receives it, she will put her shoes on and go on the stage." The manager handed him the $4,000. After the doors were opened and 800 had been taken in, he sent it to Patty, hoping to induce her by this payment to cease the risk she was running of taking cold by keeping her shoes off. But the beaming Italian came back saying that on the receipt of the $800, Madame had put one shoe on and would put the other shoe on just as soon as the remaining 200 was sent. Soon the money came in and that other shoe went on. The next one, 178, an even distribution of honors. Dr. Arne was once placed in a somewhat similar situation to that of Solomon. When the two women each claimed the child, his disposition of the case was as fair as that of the king, only the distribution was more even as Solomon threatened to make the division of the child in question. Dr. Arne was a very prominent English composer who lived in the first half of the last century. He had been called upon to decide on the merits of two singers. Their merits, by the way, were based largely on their own appreciation of their powers rather than on that of other people. After hearing them, Dr. Arne cried out to one of them, "You are the worst singer I ever heard in my life." "Then," exclaimed the other, "I win." "No," answered the just judge, "you can't sing at all." Okay, that's it for this week, and we'll hear some more next week. A little bit of work on the cello. So I'm rubbing down the cello, getting it ready for a good polish, and I thought I'm going to go ahead and put black on the edging of these center bouts and then around the outline of the scroll. So I thought I'll show you that here. There it is. We have black on the edges like that. Freddie wants to chat.
Hi, I'm Freddie, and I got a new friend, Mr. Robert Malone. He sent me some pictures, and they're really amazing. Wow!
This was sent from Mr. Robert Malone, who has been making reproductions of antiques for 74 years. This is one of them. He is now 87 and he still works in his shop as well as restoring hundreds of antiques. This is a Queen Anne lowboy which was made out of maple.
Well, my grandpa went out and took a look at the beast. He wanted to make sure that the queen got out all right. So, here you go.
Oh.
Yeah, she's gone, isn't she?
She's gone. Which I'm thankful for.
Thank you so much for sending in your pictures, and don't forget to send me some more. Bye!
The Hebrew Minute. LaHashem Hashua Al Amcha Bir Katecha Sila. Salvation is of the Lord. Your blessing is upon your people. Selah. If you know where this is found, please leave it in the comments below. Here it is, Friday afternoon. It's stepping in the shop. Well, here's our cello, and the black trim is going to take a while to dry. And then we need to do a polish on this cello, so it has a bit more work to go. Here's our little pochette. It takes up such a small part of the table. It's really crazy after doing a cello. And here is our 1700's violin. As soon as it's dry, maybe in a week, we can set it up. Thank you. There's a few of you that have already contacted me regarding sending in something for our 200th episode. I'm getting so excited now. If it falls right, if I don't skip any weeks, it should fall on the first or second week of September. So, just to reiterate, if you haven't heard, we want a very special 200th episode that includes all of you who are watching. Please send in anything you work on. It does not need to be related to music or musical instruments. It can be anything from washing your dog to baking to working in a factory. It doesn't matter. Just show me what you're working on. And you don't have to be in the picture if you don't want to be. Okay, thank you so much for everyone who watches, for all of you who give me a thumbs up, and for you who comment in the comment section. And thank you to all the new subscribers. And until next time, bye.